Good morning, my little tater tots, and welcome to the Dick Family Basement on this wonderful Thursday morning. If you're new here, you're listening to the weekly rundown with me, Deacon Lamont, and where I just kind of go over a week in review. I'm still kind of finding my legs on what I want to do at this time with all you faithful listeners. I got some stuff that I need to go, not need, but I think that work, and stuff that I'm still working through because it definitely does not work. I can tell by how much engagement I get within the episodes. So you can phone in at 1-844-340-5001 and leave a message. I do not have it hooked up that you can phone me in live. But if you want to talk to me live, you can also do that in the Podbean app there. You can just click on the plus. It's a little silhouette of a person with a little plus sign. You can click on that, and you can come in and talk with me. Connell did that a few weeks ago. That was pretty awesome when we were talking about the IFL. Also, too, you can follow me on X. I stream all the live stuff on X. And if you want to keep up to date of all the stuff that's being posted on In the Redeemer, you can go to X. My handle, I guess, or whatever it's called, is Catholic Mashup. Or just go through X and search for Lamont Dick, and it should pop up. And you can keep track, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way. I can't believe I'm saying it's the old-fashioned way, but just head on down to www.intheredeemer.com, and that's where I have all my stuff. And please, however you're listening to that, please subscribe to me at In the Redeemer, anywhere you get your podcasts. So with that out of the way, all that great stuff, we're going to start with a little bit of a sports rundown. I don't know, last Thursday, the time has gone like super weird for me. I've lost the concept of time. No, I really didn't, but I'm pretty sure I didn't mention this because it only happened a week ago, is that my basketball team won first place. It was pretty awesome. We won first, and the Vanier girls junior team won second. It was a good game. It was pretty hard fought. We played St. Mike's. Here's a really odd thing. I don't know if you can relate to this or not. So we won. We were never losing in the game. At least I don't think so. I'm pretty sure we weren't, because we didn't lose the lead after halftime, and I don't think they were leading, maybe right at the beginning. But anyways, it was a pretty wire-to-wire win for us, and we played pretty good. Not our best game. I'm going to be very honest. It was a new court. It was a bigger court or whatever. But I had two players on my team that were emotional. They were very, very upset. Why? Because they didn't play good enough. That's what they thought. And we had a dominant win here. It was odd. It's hard to be a coach to try to tell people, listen, you won. Like we won. No matter how good or bad. One dude was very upset because he didn't have a bad game, but he had a pretty good game. Anyways, I guess that's what competition does to you. It's like this. So, but anyways, it's good. We're having Talk on the Bag today at the church hall as kind of a wrap up. And hopefully this year, maybe next month, we'll continue to have open gym like practice on Thursday morning. So that's pretty exciting. I talked to the principal and the vice principal there too. The Bucks are fourth in the East, which is pretty good. I don't know how long they'll stay there for, but that's awesome. That's something. And the T-Wolves beat the Nuggets yesterday, which I'm pretty excited. And we should be in sixth place, but I just looked at the standings. Even though we have 38 wins and Golden State only has 37. Now, we have played one more game than them, so we have one more loss than them, but still, we should be gaining at Golden State. Hopefully, Golden State will lose. I believe they play today. So we need to get in the sixth seed as Minnesota Timberwolves. We need to get in the sixth seed, so we're out of the play-in. We're at a 6-win winning streak, so that's pretty awesome. I am excited. So hopefully we can make some moves there and move up the standings. There, like I said, on the Bucks, we're fourth place. Indiana Pacers are right there below us. I think we're solidly in the fourth place. We'll never beat the Knicks. Like, we'll never get as high as third, but fourth is okay. I think fourth is good. If we go fourth or fifth, we'll be playing the Indiana Pacers, which I think will be all right. I think it'll be a good series. The Indiana has definitely had our number there for a while. So, but it should be a good playoffs there. Okay, so here, we're going to cheer for a team. It's like this at the IFL. It's going to be awesome. It's the Indoor Football League. It's probably one of the most established indoor, like arena football leagues in the States like this. And so I was ready to announce our two teams that we're going to cheer for. But here's the catch, is now they're charging to watch the games. Okay, it's not super expensive, but it is a cost, and I kind of wanted it free so that we could all watch it, right? So I don't know what we're going to do now. The two teams I'm thinking of cheering, or for us cheering, is either the San Diego Strike Force or the Sugar Skulls. I think they're the San Antonio Sugar Skulls. No, they're not the San Antonio. What are they? The Tucson Sugar Skulls. So those are the two that I'm thinking of cheering for, but now we might have to change leagues or whatever. The other league is I think the NLF or something like that. Anyways, they've already started and everything else, and I don't know anyways, we'll see what it is. If you have any sort of comments, or if you have any input for what arena football league / team that we'll play, that we'll cheer for, please let me know in the comments below, or give me a call, or leave a message at my 1-844 number. That's 1-844-340-5001. I should know that off by heart, but I do not. Okay, so this is part of the program where it's all in flux. We used to do like news stories like this, and there was not much engagement in that. I did streams of consciousness, kind of what's going on, everything else, some ideas, deep thoughts. I don't know. So if you have any ideas of kind of where this would be called the B block of my podcast here, please let me know. I'm kind of open to anything. Maybe telling jokes. I don't know. Saying riddles. Who knows? Telling kind of cool stories. Sure. But I think most of my listeners have already heard all my stories. So today what I'm going to do is just go with some things I've been thinking about. Things that, I don't know, kind of deep thoughts. I spend a lot of time in my head. So here it goes. One of the things is that, I was sick yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Yeah, I was sick yesterday, especially in the morning. Tuesday night, I had a really bad sleep or whatever. I have a stomach bug, or I did. I seem to be fine now. I seem to be fine. Like yesterday afternoon, I led adoration in the afternoon, so I was okay with that. I did not go to Providence Place because I didn't want to, if it was contagious, I didn't want to give it to anyone. But what I'm saying is that I dream a lot, like a lot. And especially, so sometimes I take melatonin to get to sleep, because sometimes my head, like I'm just too busy thinking about stuff. And a lot of people say you take melatonin, you get all these crazy dreams. I'm the exact opposite. If I don't take any melatonin, which I usually don't, I dream. Now, I don't know if dreams actually tell a lot about a person, but I'm telling you, there is two types of dreams that are very unsettling for me, and it's kind of hilarious. But I had one of them yesterday, and even if I wake up in the middle of the night, I go back to sleep, that dream continues on. Yesterday, last night, my dream was in a plane, and I think I was flying to Germany or something like that, from Saskatoon to Germany. Anyways, and my dreams are really drawn out. Like especially these kind of dreams that make me like kind of unsettled are always really drawn out. And so flying is one of my dreams that I just don't like. I wake up and I'm kind of like just unsettled and it's like this. But the worst dreams that I have, and the second category of dreams, is that a lot of times when I wake up, I think they're real, and I have to kind of like talk myself down. Have you ever had that experience? It is a crazy experience where you wake up either in the middle of the night or in the morning, and you think your dream is real. And believe it or not, my dreams that make me the most unsettled, and I have some really wacky dreams, but this is the ones that just make me very, very unsettled, is that I'm back at school. It is crazy. Like I'll have a dream about me just sitting in class, preparing for some sort of essay or something like that. And it just totally freaks me out. The only positive thing about when I dream about going back to school, is exams. I really like exams. If I could go to school and only take exams, I'd probably go back, but it's the classes and everything else that really is tough for me. Or a lot of times my my very unsettled dreams about school is I'm writing an essay or whatever. If you don't already know this, I have a lot of difficulty with the English language, especially written. It's very difficult for me. It takes me tons of time even to write a simple email. And it just freaks me right out. So what's kind of an inconsequential, unsettling dreams that you have? Don't give me anything that's like too, like, just give me the inconsequential ones. Like mine is flying and going to school. And those are by far, even of the weird dreams I have, those are by far the ones that are most unsettling for me. I don't know. I just thought I wanted to share that. It's kind of weird. Dreams are weird. I don't know if that says something. Well, it does say one thing about me is I really find it very uncomfortable in school settings. It's very uncomfortable for me. I remember, like, I do a lot of stuff in schools or whatever. And if you would have asked me, like, even, let's say, 20 years ago or 15 years ago, or, stuff like that, that I would be going into schools as much as I do, I wouldn't believe you. Like, I just wouldn't. Even though since I've been at St. Joe's, that's like 20 years ago, I do a lot of that kind of work. So anyways, how about Lent? Lent's on. How is everyone's discipline going? I've had, just talking about Lent, I've had a lot of questions about people that are ill about Lent. And it's always, it's the toughest people to preach about Lent are in old folks' homes, like home for the aged, or people that are sick. I just had a recent encounter with a person who is suffering from breast cancer, and her one daughter, so her one daughter is quite faithful, and encouraging her to, have a good Lent, right? Giving her some prayer cards and everything else like this. And she is a lot like my mom, very simple faith. And she wants, what's some direction there? Like, she's sick, she's going through chemo, she's throwing up, it's ups and downs and everything else like this. And she wants to, have a good Lent, like any good Catholic. And it's always tough for me because, I told this in Providence Place, is like, we're in the season of Lent, but probably for a lot of you, you haven't left the season of Lent since, 5 years ago, right? Like, I think people who are suffering and sick, it's like this, are in a perpetual season of Lent. And I think for me, pastorally, it's like this, my advice or my sort of guidance there is that your Lent needs to be uniting your own suffering with that of Christ. It's like, don't do anything too much extra. Just allow what's happening to you, which is painful and very uncomfortable, and stuff like this, and just have that united with Christ. All those pains like this, say, Lord Jesus, I want to unite my sufferings to Christ. And if you want to do something even more than that, or if you want, unite your sufferings to Christ and allow your sufferings to be work towards an intention, right? The sufferings of myself will be for the intention of, let's say, vocations in the Archdiocese of Regina. I think that's really important, especially, and I think for all of us, we can do that. I think a lot of times when we suffer and we're in pain, we just become so insular. It's all about us. It's like this, instead of lifting those sufferings to Christ and to allow Christ to transform those sufferings into Easter Sunday, just like Christ himself did from Good Friday to Easter Sunday. So, yeah. So how is your Lent going? Is it going well? My Lent is going okay, I guess. Lent is always a tough season. And I always try to do a few things with my own spiritual life. One of the things is there's a St. Thomas Aquinas book on Lent that is very good and powerful. So I've been reading that. I've been trying to do a little bit more prayers and being a little bit more generous, not only with my time, but also with my money, with my material goods. My last thing is I want to talk about here briefly is that there's lots of uncertainty in the world. I think that not only economically here in Canada, but because we live in this global village, I really hate that term. But anyways, I don't know what else to say, because we live in a time where something could happen across the world and we would know about that instantly. Now, I might go down a rabbit hole here. I think there's pros and cons to all that. I think that we still live in a world where everything is kind of edited, and I'm for editors in a sense. Like I'm for people that know better than I am to tell me what's important in the world, right? I'm not omniscient. Like I don't know those things. And we are becoming less and less dependent on those sort of editors or those gatekeepers. And I think the good thing is that I have freedom to get my information wherever, right? But the bad thing about this is we still have gatekeepers, right? Whether we know it or not. Like there's certain parts of the world where information is just don't get out of those countries or those situations. There is news stories that are very important, let's say to somebody like me, that because of big news organizations with a lot of money and stuff like this to actually go to these countries, they just don't report it. I think I looked just recently with the situation in Syria where there's been churches that are burnt down, persecution of Christians and stuff like that, and that we don't hear much of that. We hear a little bit about it, but you really have to search. I think the persecution of Christians in the Congo is another place where we don't hear much of that. Really, where there is kind of radio silence, you really have to dig very, very deep, is like in East Timor still and in Indonesia. Indonesia is a place where Christians are persecuted a lot, and we just don't hear that. And I think that's sad. And of course, I think, as I say a lot, is that we need to support media outlets. We need to support things that we believe in, right? We need to support and give money to news organizations like this that actually present the news, which is really hard. It's a whole different sort of economic paradigm right now, because before you didn't think about that kind of stuff because advertising would take that role, right? And now there is no real the advertising pool is so small now, especially with these independent reporters. But anyways, so that's being said, I was just, economically here in Canada, there's all these tariffs. It's like this. We have lowering of interest rates, but the Bank of Canada guy said that like we are probably going to be in a high interest rate place later on. There's no guarantee that it's going to continue to go down. Inflation, high prices, and it's like this. This is being said in this is like, what's the response should be to the local church to all this? I'm of two sort of minds on this. Like, should uncertainty, should the world affect the homily that's given on a Sunday? Should the priest or deacon preach about these uncertain times? Or should that homily, that space, be done in how to interpret those things, which are two radically different, I think, approaches, right? I guess the role of the homily is to lead people to holiness, of course, and to break open the good news of Jesus Christ. Those are all true, but that can be done in such a way where we kind of approach or confront the uncertainty of our times, talking about, politics and everything else like that. In a sense, I don't want to use this in a negative way, but to politicalize, the homily, or is it kind of an apolitical exercise where we maybe just focus more on how to, live in the world in a sense, and not any particulars. Now, this leads to one thing is that I don't really know. I really lean towards the more apolitical way of looking at the homily, but I think there's other things that we can do as a community to help in these uncertain times. One of those things is to have like an odd job board in the parish, like to have it like right when you come into the church. We usually have, I call it the vestibule. My wife makes fun of me all the time, but they're kind of like two doors to go into the church, and there's kind of a little meeting room or whatever. I think it would be really important to have an odd job board there, or even a place where we can pick up some information about what's going on, how to interpret the signs of the times. There could be a little bit of the priest or the deacon, or we can get it from the internet of good sources of how to look at the world and stuff like this. But I do think there needs to be a response of the parish of these times. I don't necessarily think that should be in the homily or in the mass. I think it can be done well, but I think more often than not, it's done poorly. But we can do a lot more outreach in those things. Anyways, that's just sort of my thoughts of the day. And it's like that. Now we go into what kind of games I'm playing. I'm not playing any board games, really. Catherine is very busy. I've been playing some Switch games. I can't even remember what game Serafina and I were playing yesterday. I don't know. But hopefully this week, I will be playing some board games. That's just what I'm planning on doing. Oh, also too is this Sunday I'm actually in Regina at St. Anne's talking about the Liturgy of the Hour. So they called me in to go there. I'm not assisting at Mass or anything, but after Mass, I will be giving a talk on Liturgy of the Hours, which is pretty cool. So if you're in the Regina area and you like to go to St. Anne's Mass, it's at 9:00 in the morning. Right after that, you can hear me talk about the Liturgy of the Hours. It's going to be quite a brief. They just wanted me to talk about 20 minutes and then about 20 minutes of question and answers. So it'd be pretty awesome. I think it'd be a good time. What am I reading? Not much. Like I said, I was a little bit under the weather yesterday and stuff like this. I've been still reading End World number 11, Liberty Run. It's pretty generic. It's pretty good. It's kind of interesting. It's dystopian sort of literature. World War III happened. But unlike the other ones in that sort of genre, this has sort of like these people, because of the radiations like this, they're mutants and stuff like this, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, it's been pretty good. I've been still watching Abbott Elementary. The last episode wasn't too bad. So there's lots of So I'm like, I can't really recommend Abbott Elementary like full throttle. It's pretty good. It's all right. It's pretty entertaining. There's some aspects of it I really don't like. So that's it. Paradise, we haven't watched the last 2 episodes of Paradise yet. So Seraphine and I, we've been watching Rain. We haven't been watching that. To be very honest, Lent came and we haven't been watching much TV actually. So that's probably a good thing. I already did What About This. My What About This one was to have an odd job board at the church. My disputed area. I don't even have one written here in my notes. I don't know. Maybe for Lent I'll give up the disputed area. I doubt it, but there is some disputed areas that I've been thinking about a lot, but they're just too raw to give on this program here. To be very honest, they're just too much. I don't want to get myself or anybody else into trouble. So, anyways, hopefully next week I'll have a disputed area that I could share with all of you. Okay, inconsequential hot take. So, just an update. Hopefully I'll be going to the movies this week so I can tell you about the inconsequential. The best movie snack isn't popcorn, it's nachos. I still have that on my radar. I'm going to test it out and everything else like this. But here's today's inconsequential hot take. Pickles are the most underrated snack. It's true. Actually, I really like olives. Olives, I could eat a jar full of olives in one sitting. I just love olives, and they're a great snack. Olives, pickles, like super underrated. I just love a good pickle. You know what's really good is pickles and cheese. Man, oh man, that's a good snack. Anyways, pickles are the most underrated snack. That's all I have today. Hopefully I hear from you soon. Hopefully you can leave some comments below and everything else like this. I know as Dave, powered through this episode. Thanks, Dave. Hopefully your cows are doing well, and hopefully your calving season is going as planned. If you wait about 15, 20 minutes, you can join us with the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Until next time, God bless, have a great day, and keep it crispy, military tots. Bye.